class, today we are going to be elaborating on puns and onomatopoeias. If you may ask what an onomatopoeia and a pun is, today is the perfect day because me and Megan will be showing you. Now let's get started. So what's a pun? A pun is a form of wordplay. Homophones are commonly used in pun jokes and pun sentences. There are words that sound exactly the same but have different meanings and are written differently. Here are some examples. To start off, we have pear and pear. A pear as in two, and a pear as in the fruit. They sound exactly the same but are written differently. The next one we have is which and which. Which as in the scary one that you see in the corner over here, and which as in which fruit should I pick? And then we have wood and wood. We have would you like to come and play with me? Or we have wood as in the hard stuff that is used for construction. And the last one for today is bored and bored. We have bored as in I was bored during quarantine for 2 weeks, and board as in the board that you see in classes and hard boards. For you guys to understand more, we will go in details onto some examples. Let's say someone says, okay, let's talk about it. This is a pun because they changed the word talk in let's talk about it to taco. Think about it. Talk about it and talk about it sound the same but have different meanings. The next example will be a joke. As we mentioned earlier, puns are mostly jokes. Why couldn't the bicycle stand up on its own? Because he was too tired. Laugh! This joke is because the bike only has 2 tires. But in this pun, we wrote it as tired as if you wanted to sleep. So now, you need to imagine this scenario in your head for the next example. You're walking down the street, and you see a sign that says, frog parking only. All others will get towed. Get it? Get it? A toad is a type of frog, but getting towed also means when your car gets picked up by a towing truck because you're parked in a wrong spot. For our last joke, what do you call cheese that isn't yours? Nacho cheese. Nacho is a funny way of saying not your, so it sounds the same but has a different meaning. I'm back, and here's something to never forget. The most important part about puns is to make the reader laugh. Before we switch over to onomatopoeias, here's another joke for you guys. What kind of shorts do clouds wear? Think about it. What kind of shorts do clouds wear? Thunderwear! Now that we are finished with puns, we will now be starting with our next subject. Now, you may be wondering what an onomatopoeia is, and I'm very happy to tell you. It is quite simple. It's any sound that describes an action. It is also commonly used in children's book and comic books. To add some fun for the readers, an onomatopoeia imitates a noise and or an action. It is auditory imagery. Now, you may be asking yourself, what's auditory imagery? Auditory imagery describes what we hear. It's a description of the sound so vivid that the reader can almost hear it in their mind when they read it. To sum all that up, it creates the sound in the reader's mind. Here we have 3 different kinds of onomatopoeias. We have impact sounds, such as boom. We have nature sounds, such as little droplets of water, the trees blowing in the wind. And we have the sound of a voice, which would be psst, or giggling, or crying. And these 3 onomatopoeia sounds are different kinds that I chose to show you guys today. But keep in mind that there's tons of different kinds of onomatopoeias. I am hoping that Fiona and I's lessons made you experts. For now, we have a game for you guys. We will put a sentence, and you will need to tell us the onomatopoeia. We will give you a few minutes to think about your answer. Without further ado, let's get started. Point out the onomatopoeia! The bacon sizzled in the pan. Sizzled! The word sizzled describes the sound and the action of the bacon. Shh! That is an onomatopoeia. Voice, an onomatopoeia of the voice. Next sentence. The fly buzzed past my ear. Buzzed. Buzzed is We can't restart, but guess what? The word buzz describes the sound and the action of the fly. On to the next one. The bang of the pots and pans woke up the baby. Bang! The word bang describes the sound and the action of the pots and pans, therefore an onomatopoeia. The child popped my balloon at the party. Popped! Popped is telling us what the sound of the balloon is making. It's also telling us the action of the balloon. Let us find more onomatopoeias! I wasn't aware that the light turned green. They honked at me to go. Correct. The onomatopoeia is honked. Do you know why the onomatopoeia is honked? Because honked is describing the action of the other cars and the sound of the other cars. After my race, I slurped my water quickly. Correct! The onomatopoeia is slurped. Slurped is describing the action and the sound that the water is making. The last one for today. When I get home from school, I love to gobble all the food up in my fridge. Gobble! The onomatopoeia in this sentence is gobble. Do we know why? Because gobble is describing your action and the sound you're making. Okay. Boom! Boom! Splat! Pow! Bang! Beep! Poof! Zap! These onomatopoeias are describing a sound of an action, just like the other ones we saw. But these onomatopoeias are likely to be seen in a real sentence of an everyday world. These onomatopoeias are used in comic books and movies and animated movies that don't have words. Don't forget, onomatopoeia is a valuable way to describe a sound while creating the sound in a reader's mind. Hopefully you didn't forget about puns. Let us finish our presentation. A family of tomatoes are going on a walk. The baby tomato is too slow. The dad goes to the back, squishes a tomato, and says, "Come on, catch up!" Thank you for listening.